Mind your way?
Bop me on the head if I get the way.
Yeah.
Ready?
Yeah. Everybody ready?
Right, everybody nod.
Go ahead.
Great. On October 9th at 12:25 a.m. this morning, Officer Matthew Wagner, badge number 9525, was working off-duty in police uniform at the Wildflower Apartments in Northeast Dallas at 6031 Pineland when he and his partner, who was also working off-duty in police uniform, Sergeant Rodney Choate, came upon a Latin male sitting at the rear of a van, inside the van, in the rear passenger seat. They asked this person to step out of the van, and they noticed that he had binoculars and was monitoring a scanner. They confronted him, decided to pat him down for officer safety. When they began patting him down, a struggle ensued, and they began fighting with this suspect. Almost immediately as they began fighting with this suspect, the suspect pulled a .40 caliber Smith & Wesson and fired, hitting Officer Wagner in the arm, and the bullet traveled to the collarbone and hitting him in the lower torso in the groin area, traveling into his hip. These wounds are non-life-threatening at this point. The officer was transported by officers in their squad car to Presbyterian Hospital immediately. This apartment complex where they were at, where this incident occurred, was just a few blocks from Presbyterian Hospital. So they didn't wait for the ambulance and traveled with the officer in the back seat of the car to the hospital. What we do know now about this suspect is that he fired once more at the officer while running away, and then fell, losing his shoe and losing the gun, which we have recovered, and then continued running. We have not been able to locate this suspect at this time. He's somewhere in the area. We have the area cordoned off, and we've been looking for him for several hours now. Our hope is that he turn himself in so that we can resolve this issue as safely as possible. But we also want to stress that we're going to do everything within our power to bring this suspect into custody and bring him to justice for what he's done. One thing I would like to say, I want to thank the good Lord that this officer is okay. He's married with a child, and he has a father here in the area, and they're all at the hospital now. I've been at the hospital, visited with the officer early this morning, and he's doing well as can be expected after being shot. His arm is broke from the bullet, but we're very, very, very lucky that he survived this ordeal. And there's a lot of blood at the scene, lost a lot of blood at the scene, but thank goodness he's able to survive. With that, I'll take questions.
Chief, you got the fans, so you, I guess, have an idea of who you're looking for?
Not yet. Everything is pretty much in flux now still. We don't yet know the name of the suspect. We have a very, very good description of this suspect, but we're still pursuing some leads from obviously some of the evidence that's at the scene, but we don't yet have an identity for this suspect.
Chief, go ahead and look at the cameras, but with the information that you have about the binoculars and the scanner, do you have any idea what this man was doing?
No, we don't, other than it looked very suspicious to the officers, and it appears to be very suspicious for that area. The officers, though, were working off-duty at this complex, who has had criminal problems with drug dealing and robberies and other crimes. And so the management company hired these officers to work off-duty to try to bring some of this crime under control. And the department has also had several operations to try to bring this apartment complex under control and make it much safer than it has been in the most recent past. This is the 5 Points area where this incident occurred, which is one of our hotspots. It's actually one of our top hotspots. It's always number 1 or 2 as far as the highest crime areas in the city, and it's one of the areas that we've been targeting with extra officers, and we're going to target with crime-fighting technology as well.
How old is the officer?
I don't have his age at this point. I'll try to get that to you as soon as possible.
Do you know how long he's been on the department?
Yes, he's been on the department. Officer Wagner's been on the department for 4 years.
Were you able to talk to him? What did he say?
I did. He said it hurts, but he's happy that all he has is a broken arm and pain, and so are we. We feel so lucky that we were able to survive this, and Officer Wagner can rehabilitate in the hospital and at home later.
So you were shot once, but it traveled through his body?
No, there were a total of 3 shots. 2 of the shots hit Officer Wagner. 1 of the shots missed and lodged inside of one of the cars parked in the parking lot. And that 3rd shot was as the suspect was running away. Again, we don't know. No, 2 bullets hit him. 1 hit him in the arm, breaking his arm, traveling up to his collarbone. Another bullet went into his lower torso, first hitting his pepper spray, which is on his gun belt, and it basically exploded the pepper spray canister, and then continued to travel into his groin area.
Did that hinder operations? I mean, with the pepper spray?
It slowed down the bullet. The officers that picked him up and got him in the back of the car had some feeling of sensation from the pepper spray being exploded from the bullet lodging in it and going through into the groin area.
Wow, so it basically helped save his life.
I think so. You know, it traveled into his groin area near that large artery that we have that it can be very devastating. So again, we feel quite blessed that we were able to survive this, even though this officer has experienced a lot of pain and obviously experienced a lot of loss of blood, but we survived it, and that's really all we're thankful for at this point. We want to pursue this suspect, bringing him into custody as soon as possible, and anyone having any information about this person in this area that knows him in a minivan, he has tattoos all over his body, he's a Latin male, and he was at the back of this apartment complex, the Wildflower Apartment Complex at 6031 Pineland, with a scanner and binoculars. So anyone with information, please call the Dallas Police Department. We'd like to bring this suspect into custody as soon as possible.
Any identifying tattoos that you will help us?
We'll try to release that a little later. Right now, we're basically going door to door in an apartment complex, using all our resources to try to apprehend him. We got it cordoned off. We'll continue that as long as we have to.
This incident say just about what your men and women potentially face every single day?
You know, I'm always asked by people in general, you know, what causes the crime reduction? What causes the city to be safer than it was a year ago or 2 years ago? And you know, kind of the best answer I can give in this type of scenario is that, but for our officers willing to lay down our lives to protect this city, we would not be safe. And it takes this type of sacrifice, this type of effort, in order to keep this city safe. And you know, it's the most ungrateful job, and many times we don't get a lot of thank yous. But again, the officers' bravery and courage and dedication to protecting this city is unheralded. And I am always impressed by Dallas officers' willingness to lay down their lives to protect this city. And thank God that we have to give our life in this instance, that we were able to survive it.
Using attempted murder on all of you?
We're going to pursue the highest charge that we can possibly charge this suspect with, and all of that will be pending.
Okay, were they getting that back down?
Should be.
You too, thank you.
Okay. All right, guys. Thanks, guys.
Hey, Chief, real quick, his Matthew Wagner.
Wagner. Yeah, Matthew
Wagner.
That's right.
And 2 T's in Matthew? Yes.
Yes.
And then the sergeant.
Sergeant Choate, Choate. His birth name is Rodney.
And he's a sergeant?
He's a sergeant. He was working off duty in the uniform as well.
And Matthew is?
4 years on the department.
He's an officer?
Yes, he's a senior corporal.
Senior corporal.
Senior corporal, yes.
And this extra job was paid for by the apartment management?
Yes.
Okay, management. So they do overnight extra jobs?
They started this about a week ago
Oh.
because of crime problems. So they've been working this off duty capacity for about a week.
And this apartment complex or just the Five Points area in general?
That particular apartment complex,
That
the
apartment
Wildflower.
complex is a hotspot for you.
Yes.
I know you used to work that area.
Very, very aggressive.
Okay. Thanks, Chief.
Thanks, guys.
You got the
Hey,
microphone?
Everybody got everything?